Well, hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the Holzmichel channel and another episode in the continuing saga of Duckin the Fog and tool reviews. So today's going to be a little update on the channel and a tool review of these grip pliers here. Today we have a little bit of some sponsored content, believe it or not. So we'll get to that here in a second. First off, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that have came on board to the channel. We finally broke 1,000 subscribers last month. I thought it was going to be a little sooner than that, but nevertheless it happened, and I'm certainly glad it did. So I do thank all those new subscribers that have came on board. We've lost a few too in the process, but you know, that's YouTube. You know, people's interests change, and so people wander off and people come into the channel and you know, check it out. So anyway, I would appreciate it if I got some feedback from the viewers, if there's something additional that you would like to see in the videos. If, you know, granted, I realize too, you know, in the post-production, you know, camera angles can be tricky sometimes. It's just trying to work with the space that you have to get a decent shot in and try to get, you know, a good frame so that you guys can follow along with the projects as well. So if there's room for that improvement, by all means, you know, pipe up. Don't be shy. Let me hear it. I don't begrudge anybody for giving me a negative feedback, because that's the way we learn and improve the channel. So anyway, moving on. Today we have grip pliers by Rennsteig. And we've done a review on some Rennsteig products before. That was the adjustable center punches for, you know, drilled holes and so forth. Normally you'd have, you know, a set of however many dozen whatever in whatever increments that you choose, be it metric or imperial. And these center punches eliminate a lot of the sets that you would otherwise have, because they will adjust seamlessly to any size hole, be it metric or imperial. So I was recently contacted by a fella with Rennsteig, and he asked me if I would be willing to do a review on some tools, and of course I said sure, why not. So anyway, we have these two pliers here, these grip pliers. Colloquially, they're also known as vice grips, although vice grips is a trade name or a brand name of a different company, so I can't really call them that. They're, you know, grip pliers. But anyway, we have one pair that has curved jaws and one pair that has straight jaws. Here's some stills of them. And so we're going to do something with these pliers that isn't normally done with this particular tool. So we'll jump to some footage here of these pliers at work, and be advised, this is not something I would recommend to do with just any tool. So here we go on the footage of the work holding that these are doing. So as you saw, the pliers were holding a piece of 10 millimeter thick steel plate to another piece of I-beam that was on the mill. I couldn't take the I-beam off because it was being worked, and I had to throw this in kind of ad hoc, and so the tool pressure on this thing was just enormous. I'm surprised that these things actually did the job. So the next step we're going to do is take a file to them and see how the finish is on these, whether or not these are actually the finishes. One is zinc plated and the other is kind of chrome plated, to see whether these are actually plated or if this is part of the tool itself, i.e. already, what am I looking for? It's embedded in the steel, so here we go with that. So as you see from the scratches that the file made, normally when these kind of tools are plated, especially the zinc plated ones, you get a little copper layer underneath that galvanized coating. And so if you're looking real closely in the stills right here, you'll notice that there is no copper plating underneath that layer on the pliers. So that tells me that these are actually the steel is manufactured this way, and this is the way they were forged and bent and put together. So a really neat finish. The fit and finish on these is really good. So the next little torture test we're going to give this, the curved jaw here has a set of wire cutters on it, and so we're going to give it a piece of hard 3 millimeter welding rod right here. That the jaws really weren't affected. I've had different pliers or this type of cutter in other grip pliers like this, and cut wire with them, the same type of wire, and unfortunately the jaws were damaged. Now in this particular pair, the jaws held up just fine. You can see a little bit of a rub off on the jaw surface where the copper plating on the rod actually rubbed off onto the jaws of the pliers. So overall, all I can say is, for the money, this is a good buy. Of course, they didn't cost me anything except to do this review. I do apologize to Rennsteig for not having gotten this video out sooner. I would have liked to have gotten to it a little in a more timely fashion. However, as you guys, the true fans of the channel recognize, Bridget's in a new environment, new shop environment. So I was busy with the move and settling into the new workshop and getting things set up. Got a new toolbox here and the whole bit for all the tooling, and so it took me a little while to actually get to this and do this review. So I do apologize for the tardiness of it, and that's also the reason I haven't been putting out a whole lot of video material here in the last few months. So I do apologize for that. So overall, I'm really elated with the quality of these tools. Do I recommend them? Absolutely, and not just because I got them for free. They have other varieties of these grip pliers that I will certainly be purchasing in the future. What can I say? I mean, it's quality made in Germany. Need I say more? You know, there's some other brand names out there that are also made in Germany. They're also pretty good. I don't have a side-by-side comparison, So maybe one of these days I might go pick up a pair of the Knipex, and we'll do a little shootout and see which ones are better. But overall, for what this is, I mean, you look at the stills, the rivets in here are super heavy duty, nice rounded heads. The only thing I had to do to these pliers as such was lube the threads on the jaw adjustment. Other than that, didn't have to do anything as such where, you know, Chinese tooling, you're always stuck with grinding dust and what have you in them, and you got to tear them down, clean them, and then lube them and put them back together so they actually function halfway decent. These things are ready to go right out the box, and so for the quality, all I can say is top notch. Really impressed with them. So anyway, I hope you guys and gals out there enjoyed today's little video. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, critiques, by all means put them in the comment section below. It's always good to hear feedback from the viewership. I'll also put a link to these particular tools in the description below for those of you who would like to take a look at them. They do have a web presence, and so there's also the possibility, of course these are German-made tools, that you can get them in Germany for any of you expats out there that are watching. But they also have a U.S. presence, and I think they're internationally present in other countries as well. You just have to check out the website to see where all they're at home. So anyway, that's a wrap for today and this episode of Duck in the Fog. Do appreciate everybody that checking this video out, for stopping by, and hope to hear and see from you guys again soon.